Hello and good evening. You are joining me tonight for round 3 of season 16 of AOR with tier 5 around Interlagos. And we're going to be starting off with a 10 lap sprint race around the Brazilian circuit. But first, let's have a quick look at the standings and where they left us after round 2. So after round 2, solidly in the lead, we had Fosi with a double win last time out, and he was actually moved up through the tiers. So we will not be seeing Fosi anymore here in this tier, and that leaves our de facto leader now at the start of this round being Monkan with 48 points. In second place would be Khan with 43, and in third place we would have Danger Mouse with 42 points. So it's pretty tight in the top 3 at the moment. And in the Constructors' Championship we have the AMG team in first place with the Subaru team in second. And third place for the Porsche team. I think the Subaru team will actually entirely drop out now that Fosi has been promoted, so that will leave Porsche team in the second place and BMW team will be third place for the standings. So let's go through the grid here and see where everyone qualified. For the sprint race, in 16th place we have HK, 15th place for Crackavelli, Lord Hans in 14th, 13th place for Goktogorenli, Kilaif in 12th place, 11th for Rocket, Schumacher in 10th, 9th for Ristic, Boa is in 8th place, 7th for Juho, Danger Mouse is in 6th, Chaos Druid is in 5th place, Khan starting from 4th, Obi-Wan starting from 3rd, Dr. ST starting from 2nd, and starting from pole position around Interlagos will be the de facto championship leader, Monkan. So let's get started for the sprint race. Lights out and away we go. A great start from both Obi-Wan and Khan. They are already ahead of the pole sitter. Dr. ST managed a very good start as well. Bit of a hectic start there at the moment. Let's go back and see what happened. So Khan and Dr. ST are a bit side by side. So Khan breaks a bit earlier, has a bit of contact with Danger Mouse as well, and that makes him go wide. The other Ferrari goes wide as well, and I think Juho was also a big loser there on turn 1 of the race. As we head down the mini straight here, we have Dr. ST in the lead, and the two MGs are in second and third, Danger Mouse and Chaos Druid. Oh, actually, sorry, Chaos Druid is in the Lexus, he's in third place right now. Khan is down to fourth after that short excursion, but no penalty for him, which is good to see. Obi-Wan dropped to fifth, and going through the order, Monkan dropped to 8th place, so that's a very bad start for him. And the Porsche is really bad off the line, but still lost a few positions afterwards. Going further back, I think Juho is the other person who lost out on the race start and just dropped out to the back. As we see Dr. ST rounding out the final corners here ahead of Danger Mouse. We seem to have had a bit of a moment here for Goktogorenli. Let's see what happened. Going around the corner, or just on the exit of the corner, too much power, and unfortunately that'll do it. Drops him to the back of the grid. Oh, and got reset back to track for good measure, which is never fun to see. down turn 1, bit of a gap in between the cars. Not too many moves seen here at the moment. Monkan has picked up a 1.5 second penalty, which is very unfortunate for him. Still in 8th place, perhaps slowing down his teammate just a little bit. Actually, Schumacher goes on the inside of Monkan, and let's see if he manages to get through. Yes, nice and clean through there. Monkan maybe had a bit of a look on the inside of his teammate there, but it would be, I'm not sure it'd be worth fighting him at this point, especially with the time penalty. Let's have a look further up at how the race is going. Dr. ST is not able to pull a gap so far. Maybe just a little bit, about a second over Danger Mouse. Chaos Root sitting comfortably in 3rd right now, but Khan and Obi-Wan are all over the back of him now. I think the Lexus will be pretty safe here on the main straight, just going off of its top speed compared to the Ferrari, but Khan is definitely benefiting from the slipstream to use it as defense. And what we have here, Bo had a fantastic exit out of the last corner, managed to overtake Obi-Wan, who had to go very much to the outside to defend off of Ristic, who had a moment there, went very wide and a bit of break on the grass, and it'll do that to you, just pushes you absolutely wide there. This has allowed our top two to stretch a bit of a gap on the cars behind. As we see, Monkan served his penalty, dropped down to 11th place at least. Oh, that's very, very unlucky for Monkan. Maybe there was a bit of contact, maybe it was just a bit too much power on the exit of corner, but that's not what you want to happen on your recovery drive after a bad start and a bad penalty. So a lot of work left to do for Monkan now. Maybe he can salvage a few positions and start off the feature in a favorable place. As we see, Dr. ST and Danger Mouse pulling ahead in the lead. Khan had a bit of a wide moment there on the left-hander, and again maybe struggling a little bit for grip. Bo has actually dropped down behind Obi-Wan. As we will now stick here with Obi-Wan, who should be able to go for a move on the Ferrari. Khan defends the inside, Obi-Wan forced on the outside, and I'm not sure if there was a bit of contact there, but Obi-Wan, bit of oversteer, maybe there was a slight tap, but loses a position to Bo again as a result, and this leaves Khan in 4th place with the Ferrari, trying to gain ground on Chaos Route. Schumacher now having a bit of look at what happened to Obi-Wan and definitely hoping to make use of it. Bit of a gap from 8th to 9th. We see Kilife in 9th place right now, being chased by Lord Hans, who is up to 10th position. Cracker Valley hot on their tails with HK up into 12 now, so that's 4 positions gained for HK. Juho, Ristic, Coctogrande and Monkan are rounding up the end of the grid, and these are all the cars that had bigger moments across the first few laps of the race. As we see, Dr. ST has extended a bit of a gap now on Danger Mouse, in control of the pace. Surely Chaos Root has gotten a 1 second penalty, and that's very bad for his race. He had a bit of a gap over Khan, but this right now might just make him lose the podium position to the Ferrari behind him. He's actually trying to break the slipstream a bit here. on the straight, despite not having to actually defend. As we see Boa trying to find a way past that Ferrari. And it seems Chaos Druid had a bit of a moment there. Khan's already was a bit side by side with him. And let's see if they manage to get it break. Boa goes on the inside of Khan, and was there a bit of a contact there? Perhaps, but Boa moves into 4th place ahead of Khan. As there's a bit of a train here being formed of these cars, and surely all of them fighting in between themselves is not gaining anyone time at all. The big loser here being Chaos Druid, who got that penalty and who will now lose a whole lot of positions just from a single track limits penalty. So let's see where this will drop him. So he was 3rd when he got the penalty. He's now already down to 6th place. Loses to Schumacher as well, so he's down in 7th, and his teammate Rocket is right behind him. Maybe has the overspeed to make a move as well. As we'll focus a bit further up on the battle for 3rd. Everyone seems to be nice and clean through the first few corners. All the while the top 2 are just driving off into the distance for the moment. Nice clean race for them. Let's see if Khan will be able to catch up back to Boa, or if Obi-Wan will be able to make a move, stick around the Ferrari this time around. As we're now at just past halfway of the sprint race. So about 4.5 laps remaining right now. It seems Danger Mouse has ever so slightly caught up to our race leader. Boa opened a bit of a gap before the start-finish straight ahead of Khan, which will be very beneficial for him, so he can have a nice and safe turn 1. Obi-Wan already side by side going into the start-finish straight. Went on the outside and lost a bit of ground, but let's see how Obi-Wan will navigate this. Goes for the inside, brakes nice and deep, and manages to get it stopped. Khan tried to go around, but couldn't quite do it. As we see, Obi-Wan had a fantastic move in the first corners, managed to get 4th position. Goes defensive here on the back straight a little bit, and oh, what happened here? Let's have a look how that unfolded from Khan's perspective. So Obi-Wan goes a bit defensive and goes back into the line, and very, very unfortunate. Khan just broke a bit on the grass there. I'm sure that's caught out quite a few drivers around Interlagos, and Obi-Wan actually gets a 1.5 penalty as well. Did he go wide there? Let's see what happened. There was a bit of a contact, and yeah, it went wide, unfortunately. Quite an, I dare say, unfair penalty there. 1.5 seconds, big one as well. Will definitely lose in positions to the cars behind him. Meanwhile, we see Danger Mouse has caught up to the race leader now. Pretty close around the second sector of the track to Dr. SC. Dr. SC's front right tire is suffering a lot more than Danger Mouse is, and Bo is slowly reining them in as well. As Obi-Wan seems to have a sizable gap down to 5th place, but probably won't be enough with such a big penalty to serve. And yes, Rocket is already getting aggressive, going on the inside, and takes 4th position. Obi-Wan doesn't fight it too much, and that's probably a good choice, as the Lexus driver had a lot of overspeed. Oh, that's not what you want to see. So Schumacher is going defensive from Chaos Druid, and they both break very deep. Schumacher runs into the side of Obi-Wan, and they both spin out and lose quite a lot of this. So this is very unfortunate for Obi-Wan, who didn't have anything he could do here. He was just taking his corner, but it seems Schumacher just outbroke himself a little bit there. As this is fantastic news for the top 3 right now, as they are running their own race. In 4th place, Rocket actually got a 1.5 second penalty. Yeah, going wide after the short straight there, and this is exactly the penalty Obi-Wan got on the previous lap. Chaos Druid in 5th place will surely benefit from this, and Key Life is actually up into 6th. We see in 7th place Lord Hans has gained ground, and Juho has actually made a very good recovery so far, up to 8th place after that moment he had on turn 1 lap 1. Khan down into 11th, dreading the incident he had surely, as we managed to get a glimpse of Goktu Renly going very defensive, trying to keep Monkan and Obi-Wan behind. Bit of a train being formed here. Monkan has a bit of a look on the inside, but thinks better of it, as they managed to make it clean, but Goktu gets a great exit, and so does Obi-Wan. As we're about to see 2 laps remaining here. Obi-Wan shown the outside line by Monkan, but switches to the inside. Will he do it? Breaks nice and late. Manages to get the line through turn 2, and is stuck on the outside for turn 3 now, and on the straight. They are side by side. This is great racing for these two. Monkan had the inside, breaks very deep, manages to just about keep it on track. Would that be a penalty? I don't think so. So tires there just within borders, and yeah, that was a great move there from Monkan to keep 13th place for the moment, as behind them we see Schumacher and HK seem to have both dropped down the order a little bit. Must have missed what happened to these two, as they were a lot further up. Let's join our race leader now for the start of the final lap. Still keeping nice and steady, holding the lead of the race ever since turn 1. Seems unfazed by Danger Mouse behind him. Boa lurking a little bit in the background at this point, surely just hoping to gain something out of a battle in between the top 2 cars. Dr. S had a very bad exit on the straight there, but managed to get a defensive inside line, surely suffering from the tire wear, as we will go on board with Danger Mouse to follow this battle through the final lap, as Bo has now gotten very close to these two as well. Dr. S managed to pull out a great defensive move there to keep first position, and might just be enough to get the sprint win here. Led every lap so far, but we'll need a very good exit here off of the final corner. Surely the MG can pull one better with the better tire wear, but let's see. This will be a drag race to the end. Boys in there as well with the slipstream. And the answer is no, there's nothing Danger Mouse and Bo can do. Dr. S, he takes the sprint race. Danger Mouse comes into second, and Bo into third place. Chaos Druid managed to recover after that penalty up to 4th place, 5th place for Key Life, 6th for Rocket, 7th for Juho, Lord Hands in 8th, Risik in 9th, and Khan down into 10th for the sprint race, 11th for Gokta Grenly, 12th for Krakow, 13th for Monkan, Obi-Wan in 14th after a not so pleasant event there. And let's just see where the final ones finished. HK in 15th and Schumacher in 16th. So Khan will be optimistic for the feature race here, as we will now reverse the grid to get the top 10 cars reversed for the feature race. As we'll now jump into the feature race. Okay, let's see how the feature race unfolds here. We have 26 laps around Interlagos. Strategy will surely play a game. Let's see, Schumacher starts in 16th on the hards, HK likewise in 15th, Obi-Wan 14th, 13th for Moncon. Krakow in 12th, starting on the soft tires. I remember the Aston Martin team being aggressive on strategy and Dry Mountain, I believe, so it'll be interesting to see if it works out for them here. Gokta Grenly in 11th, starts on the mediums in 11th place. 10th place for our sprint race winner Dr. ST, starts on the hard tires. Danger Mouse on the hards as well in 9th, Bo on the hards 8th place, 7th place for Chaos Druid, 6th for Key Life, 5th for Rocket, Juho starting in 4th on the medium tires, Lord Hands in 3rd place, starting optimistically the feature race on the hard tires. Risik starts in 2nd place, and in pole position for the feature race we have Khan starting on the medium tires. So let's get this started and see how it unfolds around here. And we're off. Risik already diving into the slipstream of that Ferrari. The Jaguar a lot better on top speed than the Ferrari. Tries to go around the outside. Lord Hands went a bit wide there. I will assume braking on the grass on the outside, which is always very, very unfortunate to see, as we have a few cars going 3 wide there. We will rejoin our top cars as we see Juho having a bit of a look on the inside of Risik, but isn't able to make a move yet. And this has allowed Khan to open up a little bit of a gap, has the tire advantage on the compound at least, so if he's able to survive the first start-finish straight, I think he'll be able to open up a bit of a gap. Risik going a bit wide there, Juho trying to find a way to stick a nose on the inside of a corner. Dr. ST had a half a second penalty and went off a bit there. Very unfortunate, dropped down to 14th. Lord Hands has dropped down to 15th. And HK is last. So let's say join Juho now in 3rd place. About to go for a move on Risik, who doesn't defend the inside. interesting choice there, and I'm not sure if there was a bit of contact there. They both tried to get it rigged, but Juho gets the position. Rocket says thank you very much and grabs a free position as well there, as Ristic has fallen to 4th place here. Chaos Druid goes on the inside of Krakavelli there. Opportunistic move, but seems to have made it work. Bit deep on the braids allows Krakavelli to go through on the inside now and get that position back. Great back and forth between these two for the moment as Monken is trying to go on the inside. Oh, what happened there? It seems let's see what happened here. So Krakavelli is ahead of Chaos Druid, who goes very deep on the inside, and they both don't make the corner. Unfortunately, it seems Chaos Druid just slightly span Krakavelli around, but enough to cause a lot of damage there. I'm not sure if that made it to the stewards, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did, to be honest. It did seem like a very unfortunate moment for Chaos, so as we will rejoin our race leader on the medium tires, as I expected, managed to open up a significant gap to the car behind. As long as that Ferrari is out of slipstream range, it's doing quite alright around here, and it's not a sitting duck on the straights, but Juho on the mediums as well is keeping good pace. Rocket keeping steady in 3rd place here on the hard tires, doing good so far after the opening laps, avoided a lot of chaos and is holding on. Boa in 4th is surely trying to find a way to gain some ground despite losing a bit of time to the car ahead on the last lap. Danger Mouse just about a second faster than Bo on the last tour. Let's see if we find... Oh, we managed to get a nice glimpse of Monkan diving on the inside, very deep on the brakes, but manages to get it stopped. Dr. Ristic got the position in the end, though managed to keep the sideline. What happened with Chaos there? 5.5 seconds of penalty. Seems a bit harsh. Doesn't beat my record of a 9-second penalty around Interlagos a couple of weeks back. As we see, Khan had a bit of a moment there, but keeps it under control. Not a whole lot separating the first two runners. Pretty close time, just 4/10 in between them. As behind we see Kill F in 7th, looking for a way past Cocteau-Grande, but we will join now the battle between Monkan and Ristic. Monkan actually managed to get past ahead of these turns and seems will be able to keep the position and grabs 8th place. It seems Monkan managed to get the position and is now focusing on moving forwards. Lordhan's up into 12th. It seems that Chaos had a bit of a track limits penalty again. Dropped a couple of positions there if I'm not mistaken. As the top two have essentially driven off, Juho catching up just a little bit towards Khan on the last lap, but nothing too significant. Both of them on the medium tires, pretty identical tire life. Behind them, Rocket fairly comfortable in third position. Bo is not catching up too much, about half a second in total in the past couple of laps, so slowly but surely gaining ground there. It seems from third place up to about 7th they are lapping the nearly identical times, so it'll be interesting to see if any of them will start pushing a bit harder to make up ground, or will just rely on undercutting and attempting something with the strategy. As we will join Dr. Resti being shown the outside here around Schumacher. Both brake, Schumacher manages to brake deep enough to keep the position, but Dr. Resti now will have all the slipstream here on the straight. Just not close enough. Schumacher managed to get a great exit there for the back straight there. And is able to keep the position for the moment. Let's see how the tires are doing. Khan and Juho seem to be doing alright on the tires. A bit more tire wear than the hard runners, but I think they're doing what they need to be doing with the tires. Be interesting to see what strategy they've chosen and how long they'll be able to run on those medium tires. Let's see if there are any closer battles on track. Obi-Wan fairly close to HK as we see Goktu going to the pits on lap 6. That's an interesting choice. Surely will be a 2-stopper for him, unless he's going on the hard tires, but we'll get back and see what tires he comes out on. Monkan, despite overtaking Ristic, has not exactly driven off into the distance, so he is clear of him, but these two are miles ahead of the other cars, and actually on the last lap Ristic has gained a bit of ground on Monkan. So it's interesting to see that Monkan had the pace to overtake, but not enough to just drive away for the moment. As we'll have a look at Boa, who has gained quite a bit of ground there on Rocket. Will he get a good exit out of the final corner? Is pretty close, but that Lexus is fast in a straight line. Yeah, it doesn't look like Bo will be close enough to make anything happen here in turn 1. Both of these cars are very fast in a straight line, so it's hard to do something just purely on the slipstream. Quite an aggressive line there by Bo for the back straight here, and a bit closer. Rocket actually moves to break the slipstream, but Bo is unfazed, just not close enough to make something happen at this point in time. Significantly closer here on the twisty sector 2 of the track. Rocket goes a bit wider, and Bo has a moment contemplating diving on the inside, but thinks better of it. It does seem that Rocket is slowing Bo down just a little bit at this point in the race, but Bo is just unable to find a way past. Yeah, Rocket just gets a good exit out of the final corner, and that leaves Bo stranded into enjoying a bit of slipstream, but nothing more. Monkan has managed to open a gap now to Ristic, so should be able to focus up ahead, as Ristic has fallen a bit into the clutches of Schumacher. Let's see, Schumacher has a look on the inside, bit aggressive there. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, but nothing too major. However, Ristic got a great exit for the back straight and is at least for now safe from the Porsche driver. As we'll go a bit further up now, Dejermaus already caught up to the back of Boa and Rocket. Bo hasn't been getting the best of exits of this final corner, and let's see what happened. Our race leader had a moment there. What happened with Khan? Just goes wide and power on the grass and leads into a spin. That's very, very heartbreaking. The pace was there and was leading comfortably, but has now lost the lead of the race, lost the tire advantage he had over these hard runners, and will now maybe even lose a position to Rocket as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. Tire life is still there, but yeah, Khan lost about 14 seconds there through that spin, which is very substantial. This has gifted Juho a very comfortable race lead right now. A lot of margin up to second place, and should be very happy with saving tires and maybe saving fuel as well, if that's needed for his strategy. As we'll keep an eye out on this battle here for third and second place essentially. Boa manages to get close to Rocket again on the twisty sector 2. Just doesn't find significant enough overspeed to go for a move on Rocket. A lot closer now here on the final corner. Just outbroke himself a little bit and maybe gave a bit of a push on the back of Rocket there, which is very unfortunate. Waited for him, which is nice to see, but both of these cars lose a position to Danger Mouse, who is in the right place at the right time to take advantage of that. As we see Khan dive into the pits, lap 11. So that's an early pit stop by the Ferrari driver, surely going on the hards then to finish off the race. But trying to regain a position on Key Life, but thinks better of it, doesn't dive on the inside. And all the while this has given Danger Mouse a great opportunity to get second position ahead of these cars. Seem to have a pace on them ahead of this and is doing quite alright right now. If they manage to fight again and slow themselves down, this will really benefit Danger Mouse here for second place in the race. But managed to actually retake a position from Key Life. Monkan up into 6th now. As Schumacher is still trying to find a way past Ristic. Dr. ST slowly but surely gaining on them in 9th place. Laurent up to 10th at the moment, doing good there. Khan came out on the hard tires, but that's a 3-second penalty for crossing the pit lane probably, as Goktu is on the hards as well, so should be going towards the back end of the race on these stars, so would be a one-stopper then. Juho starting to feel a bit of the tire wear there. His pace has dropped a little bit, but still sitting very comfortably into first place, as Bo is already back up against Rocket. Let's see if he'll manage to make something different this time around. Very close again for the final turn. Oh, sorry, it's not the final turn. We're about to reach that one now after this left-hander. Yep, very close to Rocket again. Brakes nice and early. Ball really needs a good exit off of this corner to make a move down the straight. But I don't think this will be it right now. We see Ristic go wide on the exit of the final turn and instantly loses 2 positions to Dr. S and Schubach, and Schubach actually loses a position as well to Dr. ST, probably just because of avoiding. As HK goes on the inside of his teammate into turn 1. Let's see if this will work out. Yeah, Lorenz leaves a lot of room there for HK. So that's a nice and clean team swap there. I don't know if it was organized or not, but at least it looked like good teamwork and respect between the two, which is good to see. Dr. Grenly had a moment there, I think, and has a 1-second penalty, so definitely having a bad race here. Nearing the end of lap 13, Juho still on those medium tires. This is the midpoint of the race now. It'll be interesting how many more laps Juho will be able to do on those tires, as we'll once again rejoin Bo in his quest for 3rd place. A lot closer now, it seemed, to Rocket on the exit of the final corner, but didn't manage to get enough speed. Sitting comfortably in the slipstream of that Lexus, but just not close enough to go for any kinds of moves. Was very close to the grass on the outside, but manages to break it nice and clean on the track. As Rocket again breaks the slipstream a little bit, breaks a bit earlier than Boa. Maybe there was a bit of contact there, but nothing follows for the moment. Kilife is surely watching the battle of these two cars ahead and hoping for something to happen. Rocket goes wide there on the brakes, and Boa sees it and takes advantage of it. Nearly identical tire wear. Rocket now has the inside for the final corner. Manages to park it up on the apex and keeps third position for the moment. Maybe Boa should have braked just that little bit earlier to go for a switchback there. Danger Mouse dives into the pits to get off those hard tires on the start of lap 15. Boa had a bit of a think on diving on the inside, but opted against it. Kilife already very close to these cars. And let's see, Rocket now breaks the slipstream a little bit. Boa still doesn't want to attempt to dive on the inside of this corner. Maybe doesn't feel confident he has the overspeed or the brakes to make that move stick. These two have been very close all race long. Let's see, where is our top car that has pitted? So Khan is in 10th place and Danger Mouse has come out right behind him on the medium tires, so he will have tire advantage over that Ferrari right now. Monkan is in 12th and Schumacher in 13th as HK comes out of the pits in 15th, right on the back of Cracovelli. As Juho has went for another lap here, starting lap 16 on those medium tires, which is amazing tire life there from that BMW. As we see Boa, Rocket and Kilife dive into the pits. Let's see, actually, how did Boa reach the pits before Rocket? Rocket brake a little bit there, I'm not sure, but yeah, these three are all into the pits, and this will now allow Dr. Wesley to try and overcut them. It's quite interesting that Juho is doing as many laps on the medium tires, but maybe he'll attempt a medium soft. Might be possible, although would be a bit ambitious, I'd have to guess. As Gökçe seems to have parked it up into the pits after having a not very pleasant race so far. So let's see, Rocket has come out substantially in front, and that's mostly just on fuel, because he had more fuel and had to fuel less even than that BMW, but Danger Mouse manages to just come out in front of Rocket. So probably a bit too close for comfort there for Danger Mouse, but has managed to keep the position ahead of Rocket after they both have completed their pit sequences. as Juho has went for yet another lap. Dr. ST dives into the pits from second place. Chaos Druid goes on to the pits as well, while Lord Hans elects to push a little bit more. As Rocket is now very close to Danger Mouse. Be interesting to see if Danger Mouse will be able to drive away or not. Khan, who had the race lead until that unfortunate spin, up into fourth at the moment, which is essentially second or maybe even first, depends on where Juho will come out after he eventually decides to try using new tires. As Bo had a bit of a contact there with Rocket. These two being stuck to each other for most of the race. Juho finally goes into the pits to get off those medium tires. Let's see where Juho will come out now out of the pits. 7, 8, quick look through gear. Juho comes out onto the soft tires, and Lord Hans dives into the pits. And let's see, Ristic is our de facto leader right now, but he's yet to pit. And Juho is out comfortably ahead of the Ferrari into the lead on the soft tire. So Juho's only real quest here is to make the soft tires work until the end of the race. Danger Mouse managed to open up a bit of a gap on Rocket, who is once again probably looking too much into his mirror because of Boa right behind him. As Ristic finally dives into the pits on the end of lap 18. So Juho goes back into his race lead, with Khan in second place being chased by Danger Mouse. Let's see, Danger Mouse about half a second faster than Khan on that last tour. Be interesting to see if he'll be able to catch up to that Ferrari by the end of the race. Has the tire advantage to do it, but not sure if he'll be able to do it. Just going off of the fact that Khan actually has great pace in that Ferrari, and if it doesn't put any more, if it doesn't put a foot wrong, he should be able to keep second place in the race here. Boa goes a bit wide there, probably a bit tired of looking at the rear end of the Lexus ahead of him, and Kilife surely tired of watching them two ahead of him so deep into the race now. Having a quick look through the order, Moncon is sitting in 7th. Maybe slowly gaining ground, although Kilife has the fastest lap at the moment with a 32.6, Schumacher behind him. And Dr. SC is down in 9th place. Ristic has managed to pick up a bit of a penalty there. Lawrence has come out of the pits in 12th place, with Crackavelli right behind him. Crackavelli will need to make a pit stop. As Kyozrit and Obi-Wan are stuck in a bit of a battle for 14th place, but those who are not having the best of races here on the feature run. Again, we see Danger Mouse catching slowly but surely to Khan ahead of him, and this is now being a bit of a train formed in a battle for 2nd place, so all the cars from 2nd to 6th are very close to each other, and we'll be looking to make something as we quickly join Kills through it, getting past Crackavelli. Crackavelli had a bit of a wide moment there, which was allowed Kills through, and now Obi-Wan has gone through as well, and Crackavelli gets a 2-second penalty as well at 2.5, so definitely a few corners to forget there for Crackavelli. But down on the start-finish straight, we see our little train of cars getting ever so closer to each other. Rocket is now just slightly closer to Danger Mouse than Poe is to him behind him. These few cars have been engaged in very close driving for quite a few laps now, and surely this is taking a bit of a toll. If I'd had to make a bet, a couple of them have yet to make a mistake, and the pressure might lead to it by the end of the race with just about 5 laps remaining. Juho, let's have a quick look at the tire life on Juho. Going strong, about 60% left on his front right tire, so might be able to make the tires work towards the end of the race. Definitely has the time gap to allow himself to save tires more through corners. As we see Danger Mouse again, little by little, catching up to Khan. 2/10 around this final lap. Not a whole lot, but as these cars are getting closer towards the end, this will definitely have an effect. Rocket goes a bit wide there, going on the back straight, but manages to keep it within the lines, and just ever so closely to Danger Mouse there, sensing he could probably get a podium position by the end of the race here. Moncon has managed to grab the fastest lap in the race, driving a bit into cleaner here in 7th place, trying to catch up to the cars ahead. As we'll have a quick look here, Killsroot up into 12 now ahead of Lord Hans. Obi-Wan in 14, and Crackavelli has dropped a little bit off of the back of these cars, courtesy of that penalty for going wide. As we see, Danger Mouse must have had a bit of a moment. He's a bit further back now off of that Ferrari, and Rocket had a look already on the final corner of the lap. Danger Mouse goes defensive as Rocket tries swinging around the outside. Doesn't quite managed to make it work, and this has allowed Bo to go on the inside of Rocket finally. And let's see, Rocket just had the overspeed on Bo, and Danger Mouse goes very defensive. Rocket forced to stick on the inside because of Bo there, and it's everyone as they were so far. No position changes, but that might have gotten very ugly very fast there. Seems Alexis was just saved by the Merc slipstream and a bit of straight line speed there, as Bo definitely had a better exit on the back straight. This is all working a bit into Khan's favor, and is able to keep second place on the hard tires. Rocket going a bit wide there. Very unfortunate for Rocket. Bit of too much power on the exit of the corner. Instantly loses 2 positions to Boa and Kilive. Just a real heartbreak there for Rocket. Fantastic defending for all these laps, but finally a mistake came through. Kilive outbroke himself a little bit, went into the back of Boa, but seems everyone will live to tell the tale. And this is all giving Danger Mouse a bit of a moment to catch his breath, surely, and start trying to regain the ground he lost on Khan. Just about a second in the last few laps in battling with Rocket. So Rocket lost 2 positions there, but still very much in this fight. He's just behind Kilive here and this train of cars, so might be able to benefit if something else happens, and something else has happened. Let's see what happened to Khan. Just went too much on the inside of the grass there, and then was it just dirty tires? Power sliding on the exit and into the wall. Loses all these positions as Rocket has now gained a position up into 5th place, and Khan already lost a position to Monkan as well. So that's very unfortunate for Khan there. Just went too deep into the corner and then too much power on the exit of the next one, and this has really cost him this race. Definitely a race to forget for Khan, as we see Juho managing his tires and his pace comfortably out in front. Should be able to make the soft work till the end of the race. Danger Mouse sitting in 2nd now, has a bit of a gap on Bo, shouldn't be looking too much into his mirrors, and Kilive has been promoted into 4th place due to those 2 mistakes that happened ahead of him in the past few laps. Rocket has dropped just a little bit off of the back of Kilive here, but still might benefit if any more incidents occur. Khan down into 7th, Schumacher behind, running a bit into his own pace. Dr. S in 9th, Ristic is in 10th. 11th for HK, as Chaos Druid is still just ahead of Obi-Wan and Lord Hans. These 3 cars also running very close to each other through a very long part of the race. As we rejoin now the start of the final lap, boys very close off of the final corner to Danger Mouse. Will he go for a move here? Danger Mouse casually slided a bit to the inside. Boa forced that defensive move. Danger Mouse manages to get it stopped, make it work, gets a nice line on turn 3 onto the back straight, and now this is it. Boa has been a bit reluctant to make a move around this corner, but is forced to the outside here as Danger Mouse goes defensive. They both manage to get it break there. Kilev looking for something to gain a position here. Has a bit of a look on the inside of Boa, but thinks better of it. Let's see if Danger Mouse has managed to deliver enough to keep second place in these last few corners here. Kilev, just like Khan, bit of a struggle on the power on the exit of the corner and loses a bit of ground, so let's rejoin Boa now. Very close to Danger Mouse on the final corner before the start finish straight. Oh, very wide moment there for Danger Mouse on the final turn. Loses the position to Boa, but we will rejoin our race leader. Has led ever since Khan made that mistake that got him off the lead. Juho takes a commanding feature race win as Boa takes second place. Danger Mouse third after that heartbreak at the final corner. Kilaif in fourth place. Fifth place for Rocket, sixth place for Khan. Good recovery despite those two bad incidents. Monkan in seventh, Schumacher in eighth, Dr. ST in ninth. Ristic rounds out the top 10 cars as HK crosses the line. In 11th, we have Chaos fighting to the line just ahead of Obi-Wan. Chaos is in 12th, Obi-Wan 13th. Lord Hands in 14th, 15th for Crackavelli, and Cook to Grinley has sat out the rest of the race and will take the final finishing position of 16th here in Interlagos. Let's have a look at where this leaves us with the standings now. I'll quickly bring them up. Through the magic of being a week late, I will deliver the post-Stewart standings, and in the lead of the championship, ignoring Fossey, who was promoted and will not continue racing in this year. Danger Mouse is in the lead of the championship with 74 points. In second place is Juho with 69, and third place for Dr. ST with 63 points. Behind him, third and fourth, Monkan and Bo are actually tied on 61 points. And in the Constructors' Championship, the BMW team has actually moved into first place with AMG in second and Porsche in third place. Thank you for joining me for this race around Interlagos, and I will see you again next time for the final round before our short winter break, which will be around Laguna Seca. Thank you.